Hello YouTube. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, push the notification bell, the bell-shaped little icon down there below, hit the thumbs up button, comment down below about any ideas you have for future videos you'd like to see me make, and on your ideas and thoughts about this video. So this video has two purposes. And in most of my videos I'm talking to men, and I'm giving advice to men. In this video I'm talking to women, partly in particular to one woman, Tomi Lahren. She's a famous conservative media personality. And then, so partly this video is talking specifically to and about her, and then partly it's speaking to women as a whole in general. Okay? Wow. That woman is so attractive to me. I just love her academic credentials. I love her degrees. I love her accomplishments in her career. I love everything about her financial situation, her credit score, her annual gross and net income. I need that woman in my life. Said no man that was heterosexual and masculine ever. None. You women have this idea in your head that we are like you, and that we are attracted to what you are attracted to. You think that we want what you want. You have this big resume of why every guy should want to date you. And on it, you list and you brag to us about everything that you have decided we should be attracted to about a woman. And when it does not work, you do what Tomi did, and you make these video rants about why all men are trash because you and your friends have 17 different types of degrees and make $500,000 a year, and you know, have these high quality attributes to you, like that you're so independent and self-sufficient and self-sustaining and self-reliant, and that you make so much money and have such a high degree and are so intellectual because you took 17 different kinds of philosophy and business and math in school, and nobody cares. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be proud of those things. If those things make you proud, that's great. That's wonderful. There are lots of things that make men proud that no intelligent man thinks that any woman gives a crap about, okay? I wouldn't go on a date and then try to impress the woman by telling her about how many different types of techniques I know to catch a fish, or how many different kinds of prey animals that I've hunted in my life, what my time was in track in high school versus what it is now, and how greatly it's improved as I age as opposed to going backwards. And in truth, some of those things might actually be impressive to a woman, because women are actually biologically, attracted to some of those things genetically, because they wanted to pass on to their sons superior genetics. But those are not things that a man would list on a date and actually expect that a woman would give a crap about and be attracted to primarily, okay? We understand that what you want to know is our credit score. What you want to know is what we do for a living, whether it be a job, whether it be running a business. We understand that you want to know if we own a house or if we rent. We understand you want to know if we own more properties than just the ones we live in, if we've got some sort of residual income, if we've got some kind of financial stability that can take care of you with. We understand that you want to know, how we can handle ourselves in a situation where you need physical protection, in a self-defense type of scenario. If you and the kids we might have by you are in need of defense, somebody breaks into our home and wants to rob, kill, and rape you, you want to know that we can take care of it, take care of you and our kids. We know that. We don't try to force on you what We don't try to force on you to be attracted to what we're attracted to, okay? We don't do that. We understand that there are things that we care about that you don't care about. We understand that there are things that we find attractive that you don't find attractive. And we don't try to shame you or force you to find those things attractive. We just accept what you are. We accept how you think, that you think entirely different than us, and that you find entirely different things than we do attractive. Okay, we get it. I think that this video might be too dark, the direction I'm sitting. Let's see. I'm gonna have to be squinting because I'm using the sun as natural lighting here, okay? But it's very bright, so forgive me. We understand what you actually care about, what you actually find attractive. We don't understand it in the sense that we find those things attractive, but we understand enough of you to know that you find them attractive and that that's what you care about and that's what you want to know. That's the kind of stuff we tell you on dates. Not because we care about it. We don't find it attractive that we own our house versus rent. We don't find it attractive that we have a high credit score. We don't find it attractive that we own our own business or any of that crap. We do those things because they make life easier, and we do those things because women are attracted to those things, and we understand that. We don't do them because that's what we find attractive, okay? We don't care if you have 16 degrees from Harvard, and if you're the CEO of a company, and if you've got 500 male and female employees working under you that have to follow your every order. We don't care what your IQ is or what your GPA was in school. We don't care. We don't. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm not saying it's not cool or whatever that you have those accomplishments. I'm saying we don't care as far as attraction. Those things do not cause a man to have an erection. Those things do not cause a man to make his heart skip a beat. Those things do not cause a man to feel the butterfly feelings in their chest and stomach that you call love. That we don't even call that love. We call a whole entire different thing love than what women do. But what you call love, those things do not cause that in us. There are things that cause those things in us. Your resume of credentials, academically and financially and independently, do not make that list, okay? We don't care. And I'm going to use Tomi Lahren as an example, once again, the Fox, she's formerly Fox. I think she might have got fired for something or another she said. She's a famous conservative journalist, and she recently went on a Instagram rant about how men are trash because they pretty much don't because they don't care about the crap that she listed off as her and her friends' credentials, and because they don't lead the way that she wants them to lead, which, by the way, the definition of leadership versus following is that the leader is the one that decides how he's leading. If he's leading according to the list of requirements you give him to lead by, he is by definition not your leader at that point. He is your follower that is handing you your own orders, and then you're following yourself. Okay? That's not a leader. If he still happens to give you a plan or orders or commands or whatever of his own preferences, and you just happen to be so in sync with him and so attracted to who he naturally is that you already just happen to agree with what he says, that's one thing. But if he's just getting it off of a list that you give him to help men out, that's not him leading, and that's not you following, Tommy. Everything I've stated up until this point is a fact and is for all women. What I'm about to say is my opinion, because I don't know Tommy personally. I don't know her ex-fiance personally. I don't know the men she's been dating personally. I just know a lot of women like her, very, very much like her. So I have a good idea of what actually happened, and I'm going to explain to you what I think happened. I don't know that for a fact, not claiming to know it for a fact. So the following is my opinion. I could be wrong. Everything I stated up until this point is a fact. Um, what men are attracted to is not your list of financial and academic and self-sustaining and self-reliant and independent accomplishments. Men are attracted to femininity. Men are attracted to submissiveness. Men are attracted to obedience. Men are attracted to respectful personality and demeanor. What gets a woman in the door with a man is her physical looks. Let's just cut the bullcrap right out of there. That is a fact. A man is not even going to approach you or even be interested in you if you approach him if you don't meet whatever his personal standards are for beauty. But if you meet his personal standards for beauty, he'll pretty much overlook everything else, because men are mostly by and large stupid in that way. But men of high value, if you meet their physical characteristics of what they consider beautiful, then the next thing they're going to require of you is a good personality, someone that makes them feel comfortable and good, someone who's peaceful, who brings them peace and not combative, someone that they can come home from war or work to and bring them peace after the battle, and not come home to a greater war than what they were literally in a literal battle. Okay, that is what men are attracted to. You don't have to like that. That's a fact. I don't like everything that women are attracted to. I personally find it offensive, some of the things women are attracted to, but it doesn't matter. I live in a world with men and women, and if I want to interact in that world, and if I want to date or have relationships, romantic or friendly, with women, I have to understand and accept them for what and who they are. And that goes the same for you women. If you want to have a positive relationship with a man that you don't have to complain about it 24/7 on weird drunken rants like Tommy, then you need to just accept what men are and interact with them on that basis, and not try to change them into masculine looking women. Okay, they don't care about your academic accomplishments. They don't care about your financial situation. They don't care about your IQ, your GPA, the fact that you're the boss at your job. They don't care about the fact that you're independent and strong and confident. They don't care about any of that crap. They don't. They don't even like any of that crap a lot of the time, really. It repels us because of the personality it brings out in you more than anything. Because it makes you start to behave masculinely, and then you expect us to be attracted to that when we're not homosexuals. If we were attracted to masculinity, we would just be homosexuals and date other masculine homosexual men. And the fact of the matter is, homosexual men don't even date masculine. Half of the homosexual men anyway don't date masculine men. They date feminine men. That's what. So why, if a homosexual man 5 times out of 10 doesn't even like a masculine person, why do you think that a heterosexual man would like a masculine person? Why do you think we would be attracted to you because you're strong and independent and self-sufficient and don't need us and are a good leader and a good boss and make more money or make the same amount of money or have a high IQ and went to Harvard and have 15 different kind of bachelor's degrees? Why do you think we care about that? We don't care about any of that. We could take it, we could leave it, and a lot of times because of the personality it brings out in you, we would rather leave it, in all honesty. So I don't understand, none of us understand why you think we care about that stuff. We don't find that stuff attractive, we don't care. What we find attractive is a pretty face with healthy looking features that makes it look like you're healthy enough to bear children. Healthy skin, healthy hair, long feminine hair, a fit, healthy looking body that again makes it look like you have the good genetics to bear children, a young body or a young looking body that gives the appearance, at least, that you are still fertile and have eggs to produce our offspring, to healthily carry them throughout pregnancy without hurting yourself or them, to bear them, give birth to them, and then to stay at home and raise them, and mentally be able to take on all of the immense psychological and emotional weight that comes along with staying home and raising children. That's what we care about. We care about if you're feminine. We care about if you're a good follower, if you're coachable, if you're teachable, if you're good at following a leader instead of trying to teach the leader how to lead your way, which is not him being the leader. We care about if you're just feminine, submissive, obedient, respectful at all times. Men care about being loved, but first of all, we define love differently than you do. You define love, most of you guys, as butterflies all the time, feeling good about seeing somebody walk into the room and your whole mood changes from bad to good and lovey-dovey. That's not even what we call love. That's why you hear women use terms like fall in love and fall out of love, like it's some kind of traumatic event that is outside of your control. Men look at love the way men look at being a father, or the way men look at how you should be a mother. That no matter how you feel about your child, you're there for them. You want what's best for them. If what's best for them is what makes them hate you, you still want it, and they'll hate you. If what's best for them makes them love you, you still want it, and it has nothing to do with how they feel about it. You want it because it's best for them. You want it because it's what is good for them, not because it makes them happy, not because it makes them hate you, not because it makes them like you. You want it because it's best for them. You want to be there for them when they're going through hard times and when they're going through good times, when they're going through sickness or health. All the stuff that's in wedding vows, till death do you part, that's how we treat our children, that's how we treat our friends as men, and that's how any decent man treats his spouse. And that's what we call love. The fact that we're sticking there by your side when we don't like you. The fact that we're sticking there by your side when we don't need you, when we don't particularly care for your personality at the moment. And what we call love from you is when you stick by us. When we have hard times, if we lose a job, if our business isn't doing so well because, I don't know, coronavirus or whatever is going on in the world that messes with your finances, we care about knowing that you're consistently there for us on our side, not on your parents' side, not on your friend's side, not on our enemy side, not on the world in general side, on our side. That's what we call love. And we care about that kind of love, yes. We don't care about your emotional oogie boogie, gushy feelings kind of love. We want that. We like that, but we don't need that. We could live a whole lifetime without that and not even care. We want the kind of love that I just described to you. But more importantly than that, even above that kind of love, what we want is respect, submission, and obedience. You give a man those things, like I said, good looks, your pretty face, and your kind personality will get you in the door, but consistent, hard times, loyal kind of love, loyalty, submission, obedience, respect, those won't just get you in the door like your looks will and your personality will. Those will keep you in the door long after you turn 30 or 40, all your hair goes gray, all your skin gets wrinkly. It's like the Bible says, charm is deceitful and beauty is fading, but a woman who fears the Lord, she will be greatly praised by her husband and her children. So what that means is, we like your charm, we like your beauty, but your charm we know can deceive us. It can be fake. Your beauty we know will fade. No matter how healthy you are, no matter how hard you try, you're gonna get old. But your respect, your submission, your obedience to the Creator and then to us, your loyalty to the Creator and to us, if we're religious, to the Creator and to us. If we're secular, I'm not secular, but if you're secular, then to us. But one way or the other, to us. Your loyalty, your submission, your obedience, and your respect always to us. Whether you think we deserve it that moment or not. We don't care whether you think we deserve your respect. Just like you don't care if we think you deserve our love. You wouldn't care if we woke up one morning and we're like, you know what? I don't feel like you deserve my love, so I'm just going to be an a-hole to you for the rest of your life. You would leave us for that. You would. I'm not saying you should, I'm saying you would. 9 out of 10 of you would. Because you don't stick around through hard stuff. Now, but on the same token, what we care about respect just as equally as you care about what you call love, If you wake up one morning and you don't feel like we deserve your respect, you think that you just don't have to give it to us and you can just talk any kind of way to us, and we're supposed to put up with that crap but still love you. And we should still love you through that. And that is how a man loves. A real man is they will love you regardless of how you're acting at the moment, how you make them feel at the moment. But women, by and large, anymore these days, don't do the same in reverse. They don't say, I'm going to respect him irrespective of whether I feel like he's being loving to me at the moment. And that causes a cycle that almost can't be broken at that point. There's a book about that called Love and Respect, where he calls that the crazy cycle. A woman wants to be loved irrespective of whether or not she's respecting you. And a man wants to be respected irrespective of whether or not you feel like he's loving you. And the moment one of you stops that, then the other one's saying, well, I'm not going to love you until you start respecting me. I'm not going to respect you until you start loving me. And it never ends until one of you breaks the cycle. And it's usually going to have to be the man, because men are the initiators of everything. We're the ones that walk up to you and meet you in the first place. We're the ones that are blamed when the relationship goes south, even if you're the one cheating or you're the one going out with your friends 24/7. It always goes back when you go to marriage counseling, when you go to church counseling, when you talk to girls, to female friends. It's always, well, what did you do to cause that? So it's always us that has to end that cycle. But even if we end that cycle, even if we decide, I'm going to love you irrespective of whether you respect me, your relationship, Tommy, your relationship, all women, with that man will never be healthy until you decide, I'm going to do what he's doing. And when I don't feel loved by him, I'm going to still respect, obey, submit to him. That's just reality. That's how we're designed. So what I think happened, Tommy, and I'm just guessing here, Tomi Lahren, is I know for a fact you were engaged up until about, I think, a year ago. I know you were engaged to a tall, handsome, powerful man, well-off man. He's running for, I believe, senator or Congress or something like that. He's tall. I think he's over 6 foot, which is the small majority of men. All women want a man over 6 foot 9 times out of 10, but only like 5% of all men are that tall. I'm 6'3", about 6'4", but most men are not. So right off the bat, when you want a man over 6 foot, you've limited yourself to 5% of the population, and then you want to complain about you can't find any man that meets your requirements. With just one of your requirements eliminates 95% of the male population. There's your problem. And that's just one of your requirements. Then you add on that you want him to have a bachelor's degree, and you want him to have this education, you want him to make over $150,000 a year, and you want him to blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Just a bunch of crap that has really nothing to do with whether or not he'd make a good husband or father necessarily. But Tommy, you were with a man like that. You were with one of those top 1% of men that's actually over 6 foot tall, that actually has his life together, that actually has power politically and societally and social status wise, that actually seemed to love you, from all I can tell from reading about him. And you openly and admittedly from your own mouth say you broke off the engagement, not because, maybe he did something wrong, not in your opinion, but in reality, like an axiomatic reality. Maybe he did something really messed up that you're just a nice person and don't out him on. But I don't think so, because from anything I've seen of you, you are just a mouthy, blunt woman. So I feel like if he did something like that, you would out him. So when you say that you ended the engagement just because you weren't ready to be married all of a sudden, I take you at your word for that, and I believe you. I believe that you did that, and I believe that's insane. And then what happened, in my opinion, is you got on this dating market. You committed the female ignorance of hypergamy. You thought, yeah, I got this good high status man. He's going for Congress or the Senate or whatever. He's tall. He's got money. He's got power. He's got status. But maybe I can get a taller man. Maybe I can get a man with more money. Maybe I can get a man running for president instead of Congress. Maybe I can get a man that's a billionaire instead of a millionaire. That's called hypergamy, Tommy. That's what you did, in my opinion. And you monkey branch from a good man, tried to swing to another branch, and the branch broke. The other branch is another man that you perceived of higher value, and the branch broke. And you tried to grab onto another branch, and it broke. And another branch, and it broke. And you realized that all the men that were more high status than the one you were already with, the men that were taller than him, the men that had even more millions than him, the men that had even more power and even more social status than him, you realized that they realized that they don't have to put up with your bullcrap that he put up with. He put up with a certain amount of your crap because he actually loved you. And these men that you perceive to be of higher value than him weren't willing to put up with that crap from you. They let you know that they were higher value than him and than you, in their own minds and in yours, and they weren't willing to put up with your crap, and they treated you like crap. And because they treated you like crap, you valued them in a way that you didn't value your fiance that was good to you, until they did the ultimate treat you like crap move and dumped you. Then you had to move on to another man like them and another man like them, until you realize that every man that you're actually attracted to because they're complete a-holes are complete a-holes, and that a-holes are going to act like a-holes. And you like that they're a-holes until they have sex with you and leave you. Then you're left alone and bitter, drinking in the middle of the night, posting Instagram videos about why all men are trash. And you tried to take back your claim days later by saying you didn't say all men are trash, you said boys. Men that behave like boys are trash. But that's not what you said. You literally and specifically specified the difference between the two in the beginning of your video. You said all men are trash and a lot of men are little boys and they're also trash. That's what you said. But then later you tried to say, I'm not going to apologize, I'm just going to say I wasn't talking about all men, I was talking about little boys. But that's literally different than what you said in your video. So either you were lying in your video or you're lying in your rebuttal, because you did not say that little boy men are trash. You said all men are trash and a lot of men act like little boys and they're trash too. That's what you said in the beginning of your video, just as the preface to your video. Then you got even more detailed as to exactly what you meant in your video. And then you had to feel the need several times in your video, Tommy, to specify that you're not a feminist. Knowing the reason that you did that is because you were knowing full well that you were coming off with the things you were saying as a feminist. And the reason that you were coming off with the things that you say, Tommy, as a feminist, is because you are in fact a feminist. Just because you're not a liberal feminist does not mean that you're not a feminist, okay? You don't have to be pro-choice to be a feminist. You don't have to be, you don't have to have short blue hair and tattoos, and I was gonna say a nose ring, but you do have a nose ring, Tommy. But you don't have to be like some kind of lesbian, dyke, man-hating, non-male dating, pro-abortion, serial whore to be a feminist. A feminist is this, and simply this. And if you are this, you are a feminist. A feminist is anyone who is not pro-patriarchy. Patriarchy meaning that the man is the head of society, the man is the head of the marriage, the man is the head of the fiance, the man is the head of the children, the man is the head of the wife, the man is the head of the government, the man is the head of the church, the man, God, Jesus, is the head of the universe. That is patriarchy. If you are not a patriarch, if you don't believe that a man is supposed to be your leader, if you don't believe that your father or your husband or your fiance is supposed to be the leader in your relationship between you and them, then you are a feminist. And everybody that listened to your rant, your drunken babbling rant, can tell that you are definitely not pro-patriarchy. You are pro-matriarchy. At best, you're egalitarian and complementarian, meaning you claim to think that a man and a woman should be equal authority in a relationship. And even that is feminism. And anyways, nobody that says that really means that. Every woman that says that, when you get to the bottom of it, is actually a feminist. Because if you ask them, when the two of you can't come to an agreement, when democracy can't be had, who makes the final decision? They're either going to say themselves, or they're not going to say the man, and they're going to bullcrap around not answering the question. That is a feminist. You are a feminist, Tommy. It doesn't matter whether you say you are or not. What matters is the worldview that comes out of your mouth is feminist and not feminine. You are not feminine. You are conservative, sure. You're pro-life, sure. You're anti a lot of Democrat beliefs, sure. But being a Republican doesn't make you a Christian, and being a Republican Christian doesn't make you a non-feminist. You are a feminist, Tommy. You believe that women should have authority in a relationship to tell their man how to be a man. The fact that you made a video even having the audacity as a woman to try to tell a man how to be a man when you can't even get a man or keep a man, and that when you had a man that was a man, you couldn't even see his value and hold on to him. You broke up with him for boys, as you called them, and then had the audacity to complain about it when the boys behaved like boys. And then you have the audacity to try to tell men how to behave as men, You don't even know how to behave as a woman, Tomi Lahren. So how can you as a woman who don't even know how to behave feminine and submissive and obedient and respectful to a man, how can you presume to teach men how to be men? You don't even know what men are attracted to. And that's obvious by what you listed off as your reasons why a man should want to date you and your friends. And yet you have the audacity to try to presume to teach men how to be men. Maybe you should learn how to be a woman from an actual woman. Maybe you should go find some new friends that don't behave and think exactly the way you do, and that actually have good men in their lives, instead of hanging out with a bunch of women that you self-admit don't have good men in their lives and date the same kind of garbage that you date and then complain about it to you while you complain about it to them. Maybe you should find some actually feminine, dress-wearing, respectful, submissive, obedient, girly girls that actually have a man that has been with them for a long time, that did not be unfaithful to them, and that she was not unfaithful to him, and that did not leave each other in the hard times. And then maybe you should make a bunch of friends like that who are real women, and then let those women teach you how to be a woman, and then let men teach men how to be a man. And before you even presume to try to delve into the lane of how to be a man teaching men, maybe you should learn how to be a woman. How about that, Tomi? So, any woman that's watching this video, stop complaining about why men aren't attracted to you when you're so, how could they not be attracted to you when you're so independent and you got your own house and you got your own car and 2 jobs and work hard and you're a bad broad and all this rapper song bullcrap that no man cares about. Stop complaining that men aren't attracted to you when you've got the good academic career and the good, the good academic record, and went to the good college and got the bachelor's degree, and now you're a doctor and you got your doctorate in this and that, and nobody cares. That brag to your female friends about that and they will be impressed, I'm sure. Men don't care about that. Men are not interested in that. They are at best neutral on those things, and in all likelihood they are repelled by those things, because those things usually come with a woman with an attitude like Tomi's that we don't have to deal with and aren't going to deal with. And the kind of men who will deal with it and who like it and who are attracted to it and who want to deal with it are exactly the kind of men that Tomi was complaining about. They're either super alpha and aren't going to put up with none of her bullcrap and don't like her for those things, they just have sex with her because she's pretty and then dump her, or they're super beta, super blue pill, and you're disgusted by them and not even attracted to them because they're such pussies. Those are the 2 kinds of men that will deal with you when you brag about that kind of crap. Is men who don't care about it, who just ignore you when you talk about those things and then just have sex with you and leave you because they're super alpha but also a-holes, or men that are super beta and that you aren't even attracted to because of it, and that you put them in your heterosexual gay best friend zone because that's where they deserve to be. Those are the men who care, or who at least are willing to put up with you bragging about those stupid credentials. What you need to brag about, if you want a man that is the kind of man you're attracted to and that you want to keep, you need to brag about, and not just brag about it, but make it true and make it apparent, that you are pretty as you can be, you are hygienically clean as you can be, you are as feminine and loyal and respectful and obedient and submissive and coachable and teachable and a good follower as you can be. You need to brag about how good of a cook you are, and if you aren't one, take some classes on that instead of worrying about us caring about your bachelor's degree in scientific sociological studies. Go take a class at a Votech on cooking. Go take a culinary class. Go hire a maid, a Mary maid, for a weekend, and instead of paying her to clean your house, pay her to teach you how to clean your house like a professional, and then get really good at that and brag about that. Go on a first date and tell a man how good of a cook you are and all of the things that you can make. Then ask him his favorite foods and tell him how you know how to make those perfectly. Tell him about how good of a cleaner you are. Tell him how good of a babysitter and how good with children you are. Tell him how good you would be at being a homeschool teacher and a housekeeper and a housewife and a stay-at-home wife. Tell him those things. Tell him how submissive and respectful and obedient and loyal to a good man like him that you are capable of being, and then actually be those things in reality, in objective reality, instead of just making it up. And I guarantee you that those men that you're talking about wanting to keep and complaining that don't want to stick around you will start sticking around you so much it might become annoying to you, because because you're a woman and you don't actually want the things you claim to want. But the second that that man starts to stick around you and all of that, and it starts to actually bother you, that I can't help you with, because I'm not a woman and I actually want the things that I say I want. But if you claim to want these men to stick around, these alpha males with a plan and all this, Tommy, that you say you want, then stop going on your first date leading with how you have a bachelor's degree and a high GPA and you're strong and independent and you don't need anybody and all of this bull crap, and how successful your career is and how many news stations you work for, and start going on first dates talking about how many dishes you know how to cook and how you're good at figuring out how to cook new dishes, and ask him what his favorite dishes are. Tell him how good you are at cleaning. Tell him how happy you are to clean a boyfriend's house that you're in a long-term committed relationship with, to stay around his house and clean up real good for him. Tell him how good you are at being submissive and feminine and obedient, and how much you like to have your hair long and worn down and wear dresses and be an actual girl, be a woman. And I bet you that you won't have the problem that you're complaining about right now, Tomi Lahren, about getting those men to stick around. So this is one of the few videos I made for women instead of men. Take it or leave it. Put hate in the comments if you want, or put love in the comments if you want. Thumbs up the video, or some of the women, I'm sure you might want to thumbs down the video. Have at it, more power to you. Share the video, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Have a good one. Hopefully this advice helps some of you women that are actually coachable and teachable and have some hope in your life for getting a man. Peace.